What the heck is up, my Atlanteans? For today's video, I'll be doing something super different and almost completely off topic from our usual programming. For today's video, I wanted to talk about Netflix's adaptation, if you could call it that, of Winx Club called Fate the Winx Saga. I will talk about the more spoiler-y things later on in this video, so I will warn y'all when that's coming. But for the non-spoilers, I just want to give y'all my general review. It is such a good show, y'all. I feel like I'm the only one who's saying that. I'm not trying to jump on any bandwagons, but I will be super honest with my feelings towards this. But it's really good, guys. Like, really good. And it's not like I'm unfamiliar with the original material either. Like, from 2004 up until last year, I guess, since season 9 hasn't been released yet, I've been a huge fan. And I'm not just saying that like how a director would be like, oh, I was a huge fan and create a half-assed version of the reference material. I mean, I loved Winx Club when I was younger. Even now, like I would wake up Tuesday mornings so early to watch Winx Club on 4Kids. Oh my god, do you guys even remember 4Kids? And I would anticipate the next episode, OMG. And of course, I pre-YouTubed the transformation sequences because I was so excited to see how these fairies would get their new outfits. OMG. And yes, of course, I did watch all the Winx Club and Cascada remix tribute videos on YouTube too. I remember going onto the computers in my elementary school just so I can play the games and read the bios of all the characters on the Winx Club website. OMG, and I remember I stole a Winx Club DS game from my friend too. Sorry, Sharia. And no, it did not stop in elementary school. In high school, I downloaded every single free Winx Club game, and I think this was around like the Cyrenix era when Winx Club was just picked up by Nick, and they like rebooted the first two seasons into like a 2 or 3 part special thing. We don't talk about it, but we will talk about how Winx Club got a standalone show on Netflix called World of Winx. And yes, I did watch all of it in one day, both seasons. And no, it did not stop in high school either. Let's fast forward to this past year when Corona just started and I was mooching off the government for rent money. I was using whatever I had to like left to buy the Mattel Winx Club dolls because they're so freaking expensive. So yes, I am a big fan. I would even say a true fan. It was such a magically fabulous show, and when they mixed up like the Y2K digital aesthetic, it was such a vibe. It was my life. Oh my god. So, when I found out that Netflix was finally gonna bring the Winx Club back onto their platform, but this time in live action, I was so excited. Especially since the initial rumors were like 10 years ago. I've been waiting. You guys, I was stalking and messaging Netflix's Twitter ever since the opening sequence was leaked, like when the wings were leaked. I had real hope for this show. And then they made the Instagram account, and we were getting the super short teasers, and I was officially counting the days for the trailer to drop. I had my dolls set up, and I even dressed up for the occasion and made these cardboard wings. I performed for my sister and my boyfriend to hype them up because we were all going to watch it together. And when we watched it, and when I tell you guys that I was disappointed, that was an understatement. I was devastated. I cried, y'all. I actually cried. I took off the wings I made and I cried. I was so close to throwing out my obnoxiously expensive dolls because I was so disappointed by the vibe and the lack of diversity. There was no glitter. They were all dressed like Mormons, and I just didn't feel any like winks at all. And I was dreading the day the show would be released. All I knew was that there would be 6 episodes and no wings. However, fast forward January 22nd, and my sister and I decided to watch the show together, only to make fun of it. But holy crap, was I wrong to judge it so quickly? Warning, warning, it's not the spoiler part yet, but just in case, I just want to let you know I will start talking about the actual show now. So if you haven't seen the show and you don't want to know like anything about it at all before watching it, please click off now. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so good. 10 out of 10 at the time of this recording. I have rewatched the entire show 3 times and I'm about to do it again. of course, everyone has their own opinions on the show, and these are my own personal opinions. But since this is such a big milestone for the Winx legacy, I feel like I had to say something. While the clothes and casting may be problematic, and of course, I'm not trying to defend the casting, however, I do have some theories that I'll get into in a bit. But if you really sat down and like watch the entire show and disconnect it from the original cartoon, it is a really well made show. There are a lot of people who wouldn't even finish the first episode because of how stubborn they are, because of how different the show is from the original cartoon. And not to be rude, but you really need to get over the differences and really watch the damn show. It's got a complete plot holes included, and relatable characters in a fully established world. I also had to get over my ego and my expectations and remember it's fate, not Winx. Warning, warning, spoilers ahead. This part is for the people who have fully seen the show and are open enough to hear my thoughts and theories. And to the people who will watch past this checkpoint, please remember that I am one person with an opinion, as all of you are. I'm not asking you to believe me, but from one Winx fan to another, please hear me out and the show out. Alrighty, everyone. So right off the bat, it is completely different. Like, Bloom doesn't have Kiko following around behind her. That was the first thing I noticed, but in my opinion, I feel like that was a good move because one, that was not very realistic, and two, I'd rather not see a bunny get tossed around. And also, Stella seems a whole lot bitchier than how we remember her. Like, instead of her cheeseball of a stereotype of a metrosexual, like, femme person, she's now like this, like, sassy princess and ex-girlfriend of Sky, which actually brings me to my first theory. I really believe that, first of all, the first season of Fate is inspired by the first two seasons of the cartoon. Almost like how Nick rebooted it for their continuity, but then that can possibly mean that the creators of the show might have merged this arc that happened in the first season, like the first episode of the first season when Stella had a boyfriend named Brandon, but to protect Brandon's best friend Sky, they switched names so Brandon can be the decoy for the true Heraclean prince, like just in case. So that would explain the choice to make Sky Stella's ex-boyfriend, but to bring it even deeper, canonically, I think that's how you say it. In the cartoon, Sky did have an ex-girlfriend named Diaspro, who oddly enough has a very similar personality to the Stella in the Fate, like, alternate universe. She was jealous and had such an attitude, so in my opinion, if Brandon wasn't going to be in the first season of Fate, this really was the smoothest way to introduce Stella. Speaking of Stella, I am so excited that Stella got her ring back because in the cartoon, her ring was like never spoken about after the third season. And actually, Stella giving Bloom her ring and Bloom like losing it, in quotes, more like gave it in exchange for Stella's life, was an actual plot in the first season, episode 5 and 6, Date with Disaster and Mission at Cloud Tower. Which, by the way, I actually have no problem with the witches being completely removed because, let's be honest, if they don't have wings yet, they're a witch anyway. Which actually brings me to my next theory. I, too, am super disappointed that we aren't getting glittery outfits and a pair of matching wings until the last episode. But I think it's because we are going back to like emerging the original and the Nick reboot of the first and second season. Nick called the first transformation Charmix, but we all know that Charmix was actually the second transformation, in quotes, making the first transformation non-existent. So it makes sense that Fate took that idea and made the first transformation non-existent and made their transformation, as Blue did in the last episode did, their Charmix. I just really hope the next season we get a more defined shape of the wings, maybe some flight scenes, maybe a cute outfit. That would definitely bring up the value for the nostalgia warriors. Another thing that has caused a hectic amount of backlash is the whitewashing. I have a theory for this too, but please hear me out. First of all, in my opinion, they never whitewashed Flora. If you had watched the fecking Netflix show, you'd know that Flora still exists. She's just in Lanfea and is the cousin of Terra, and Terra is a canonically white character. and you cannot whitewash an already canonically white character. Not saying that this is the best way to go about things. I'm sure we would be more than happy to get Flora instead, but let's be honest, folks. Tara was the best character regardless. Ew, but what about Musa? Musa's a main character in the show, and she is canonically Asian on both sides. Again, please just listen to what I have to say, and then you can make your own opinions and assumptions. But I think in the cartoon, Musa is half white. Why do I say this? Okay. In the first season of the 4Kids dub, Musa's deceased mother was a royal. Her father, on the other hand, is completely Asian, no doubt. But go forward to season 3, episode 10, Taking Over Cloud Tower. Who's the true princess of Musa's planet? A white girl. As fate has done in the past, they merged all the versions of the cartoons and came out with a half Asian Musa. Because if you think about it, if the royal family of the planet she is in is white, and her mother comes from the royal family and produces a baby with Hobo, of course Musa won't be completely Asian. Again, is this the best way to go about it? Absolutely not. Like, this is not the best way to really enhance the diversity of the story. Like, not at all. Hold on, wait. I just realized that Beatrix looks a whole lot like that time Stormy turned herself into a student in Althea in season 2, episode 15, The Show Must Go On. Another parallel. And for my last theory, I don't think Miss Dowling is dead. Bring it back to the fight between Farragonda and Valtor in the cartoon in season 3. Farragonda also gets turned into a plant and was revived. So, that's my theory. Well, anyway, that's all of my theories. Thank you for hearing me out. I feel like this was really long-winded and had a mishmash of emotions, but I'm really passionate about the show. I dedicated a lot of my life to Winx Club, so, of course, I feel like I had a voice in this matter. To the creators of Fate, please do what you're doing. Don't take any of the things we criticize to heart. Just listen to us fans and reviewers and take the things we say into consideration. We love the show, we love the franchise, and we want more Winx Club. We want more Fate, for sure. Just add some glitter and a shopping scene in the city outside of the school now that it's safe, and we'll be fine. And to the fans, let's be respectful when it comes to our criticism. Netflix knows what they're doing, and maybe if we all come together and give our honest, respectful reviews, I'm sure the show will only get better. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's super different, but please let me know if you want to see more of this kind of like chit-chat, speed paint situation in my other videos. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to hear my opinions about. Please like and subscribe if you want. And also hit me up on Insta at atlantix.jpg and hit me up on Depop also at Atlantix. Both links will be in the description. And I'll see y'all on the flip side. Bye-bye.